What's up, y'all? I want to talk about Mike Tomlin, the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and his future in Pittsburgh. Now, it's a lot of reports that saying that Mike Tomlin may get fired, or he's having trouble in the locker room, losing the team, and such. And my take on it is this: Mike Tomlin, he took over, I believe, in 2007 from the Pittsburgh Steelers. First of all, Pittsburgh Steelers just don't fire coaches. They had what three coaches in their 50-year history. I think it was I know it was Chuck Noll who won 4 Super Bowls, and then it was my guy the Chin, what's his name, Bill Cowher, who won a Super Bowl, and I believe Bill Cowher went to 2 Super Bowls because I believe he lost to Dallas in a Super Bowl as well. And Mike Tomlin went to two Super Bowls and won one. And so they don't get rid of their coaches. They really pick really good coaches in Pittsburgh. You can tell by their track record. They probably got the best. They probably the best franchise in history to picking coaches. So, then they picked another good one in Mike Tomlin. But Mike Tomlin, I don't think he should be fired. In my opinion, he's done a great job there. Now, have they underachieved with the personnel they had over the 5 years? You can say they have. You can say they should have won a Super Bowl over the last 5 years when they had Le'Veon Bell, who probably was the best running back at one point, Big Ben, top 5 quarterback at one point, and uh, the emergence of Antonio Brown. Yes, they had a great roster, but what people don't fail to realize about Pittsburgh is they defense fell way off. Pittsburgh defense hasn't been really good in like the last 5 or 6 years. That's when they had well, a little while ago when they had Palomalu, they had your guy, they had linebackers off the chain. You know what I'm saying? And they had a lot of pieces on defense that kind of took away the pressure on the offense. Like when Big Ben first got there, they had a really good defense and they had Jerome Bendis running the football. They had a really good defense and a really good running game, and that carried Big Ben through his first couple of years in the league, so he can settle in and become the quarterback that he is now, that he is today. And now their defense is subpar. I think they're in the 20s ranked in defense, and historically Pittsburgh always had a great defense in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? So you can say they underachieved because of the offensive pieces, but you got to look at the defensive side of the football, and it wasn't that much there. And it wasn't up until like what 3 years ago when they really shored up the offensive line. The offensive line was subpar for a little while there after the Super Bowl run. So, it's many different factions of the game that people don't really look at. People just look at the glorious pieces like the wide receiver, the running back, and the quarterback. But you also got to look at the defensive side of the ball. Side of the ball. You got to look at the offensive line, which the offensive line don't get a lot of praise. The defensive line don't get a lot of praise. If you have a strong defensive line, strong offensive line, you can have really good team success because that's the trenches. That's where the plays are won and lost right there. Because I don't care how good your running back is. I don't care how good your quarterback is. If he don't have time to throw the football, the running back don't have gaps to run in. He's not going to be a whole lot. He's not going to do a whole lot. So that all goes into the equation. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think Mike Thomas should be fired. I think he should have a chance to right the ship. I think he's earned it. His track record shows it. He's one of the few last successful black head coaches in football. Marvin Lewis got fired. I know he was at Cincinnati for like 15 years. Now Marvin Lewis is a different case because Marvin Lewis could not get out the first round. Yes, he got Cincinnati to the playoffs, almost every year, and he brought Cincinnati back. And Cincinnati has not before Marvin Lewis got there. Cincinnati was no good for like 10 years from when I was a youngster, and I'm 42 years old. And when I was looking at football back in the day, yes, they had Boomer Esiason, they had all those. They had some really good players, and they was going to Super Bowls. They lost in the Super Bowl twice, and you know what I'm saying. They were going to the playoffs almost every year back then, but they had like a 10, 12 year drought to where they were like the Cleveland Browns. You know what I'm saying? Are today. So and then, yeah, Marvin Lewis could not get his team to the second round. So I can understand them firing him because you got to look at that situation like he got the team far as he's gonna get them. And they have some pretty good players on their roster too as well. So you could say Marvin Lewis teams kind of underachieve as well. So I have no problem with that firing. But if Pittsburgh fire has Tomlin had the press conference yet? No, Tomlin. I haven't seen Tomlin press conference. I don't know if he had it yet. I haven't seen it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he. What this is day. I'm pretty sure he probably already had it. He should have. They should. He should have had it by now. But I'm not sure. I have to look it up. But I think Mike Tomlin should come back next year. See how it goes next year. You still got Big Ben. You got Big Ben on the tail end of his career. You got Juju Smith Schuster. You got Washington, that other wide receiver. You got James Conner. I know you don't have Le'Veon Bell no more, and that's another thing too. Le'Veon Bell was a big part of their offense, like a huge part of their offense. Look at Kansas City without Kareem Hunt. Even though Kareem Hunt should be suspended, but look how their offense has been since Kareem Hunt has left. I think they are 3-3 since Kareem Hunt got hurt or whatever. I mean, not got hurt, but got suspended because Kareem Hunt makes Kansas City Chiefs offense dynamic. I know they got Tyreek Hill. I know they got the tight end Kelsey. I know they got see Watkins is out too. Another thing, Sammy Watkins is out. So Kansas City is going to struggle. They're going to struggle in the playoffs. And another thing, let me get back to Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell made life easier for Antonio Brown. He made life easier for Big Ben because you could not key on Antonio Brown. You had to keep 8 men, almost 8 men in the box because of Le'Veon Bell's versatility, pass catching, and lining him up as a receiver. So that's why Le'Veon Bell wanted more money from Pittsburgh because he's looking at it like, look, man, I'm out here lining up like a wide receiver. I want at least to get some wide receiver money, combination with my running back money. So he wanted a nice, healthy contract. He wanted the same, he wanted to get paid for his value, which I think he should have been probably the highest paid running back in the league. Looking at his versatility and looking at Le'Veon Bell's productivity over the last 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? He was up there. He was up there with Hall of Famers with his stats. He was up there with guys like Marshall Faulk that caught the ball at the backfield and can line up as a wide receiver. Marshall Faulk was the same way. He was up there with those guys, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and his production as far as rushing yards and touchdowns, Ladainian Tomlinson. Y'all remember Ladainian Tomlinson back in the day? How real good he was. He wasn't the pass catcher like Marshall Faulk or Le'Veon Bell, but from running the football and scoring a lot of touchdowns, having a nose for the end zone, he had that. I'm shocked you survived. Seems that NFL did a massive purge of the black coaches. Well, I mean, it has not been historically. NFL don't hire a lot of black coaches. Now we did. It was a time when they had about what 8 black coaches. I think the most the NFL had maybe it was like 8 or 9 when they had Tony Dungy, Lovie Smith, Mike Tomlin, um, um, and they had also had Marvin Lewis. They had some other coaches too. And I think that was like the most they ever had in the NFL. So I don't know how many they have right now. I know Bowles from Todd Bowles from the Jets got fired. I know the LA Chargers got a black coach, so he's still there because they in the playoffs. So yeah, yep, the ones they did have recently, they fired them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right about that. I mean, it's the good old boys club, the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of all the owners in the NFL are white. So you tend to hire what you know or what you're around most of your life, what who you have close proximity with. That's why they came up with the Rooney Rule. You had to at least every team has to at least interview a minority coach, whether it's Hispanic or black or whatever it is. And Joanne Gruden can sign 10 years. Yeah, John Gruden can sign 10 years right out the booth. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. I mean that's how it goes, man. But we as black people, we can't complain about that, man. We just either either we we go through the protocol and we try to get hired by them, or we start our own. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing like having your own. Look, it's mostly in the NFL is what 70% black in the NFL, 70 75 80% black in the NBA. If we wanted to, we could start our own league if we wanted to. If black people can step out of their selves and try to come from under the umbrella of the so-called white boss, go out and start your own. If you don't like what's going on, just go start your own. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, all them guys got so much money, they can start their own league. But a lot of people don't want to do the business side of the situation. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's no sense of complaining about it. You know what I'm saying? Just when black coaches get their opportunity, just make the most of your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Just that's all. That's all they can do. Just make the most of the opportunity. Complaining about it is not going to do a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get past the stage of complaining about the situation or complaining about things that happened in the past. Yes, we know things happen. Don't ever forget what happened. But you know what I'm saying? You have to live for now. You have to progress from now, and you have to set things in motion from now. That's what I say. That's my man. That's my mindset. But yeah, getting back to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin should not be fired, man. Let Mike Tomlin right the ship. I don't know. I'm gonna come back with another video about Antonio Brown. Talk about Antonio Brown because him dealing with that head case and Antonio Brown. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I'm gonna close up this live, and I'm gonna come back with Antonio Brown. I have to talk about Antonio Brown, or I'm gonna come back with my playoff picture and do my picks for this weekend games. I think I'm gonna do that next, and I'm gonna talk about Antonio Brown after that. Hey, thanks for coming through. Hey, y'all, come back on my next video. We're gonna talk about the playoff picks and who y'all got in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? What team y'all picking? But I'm out.